Okay, so it's been over a week now, and I've been doing my rounds around this area. Uh, I've been trying to prepare for the last 2 years to get to this point in time. And what that is closer interactions with the Na. And right now I'm literally inside the brush grove where they were staying in, where they'd come from to interact with me nearby. And this is going to be, really, it's going to be hard for me because this is tough. Like, this is scary. Anyone that thinks differently or tells you differently is lying or a fool. But when you're in a place like this, where you're in a vulnerable situation, where I have a bunch of brush around me, I can't run away easily. It's hard to see anything approaching. It's dusk, almost dark. This type of environment is not suitable for humans. It's not what we adapted for. We don't like it. We feel vulnerable here. I feel vulnerable here. But this is the next step. Diane Fossey, Jane Goodall, they had to do some pretty intense, scary things, and to be accepted by these different groups of primates. And it didn't come without its obstacles and without its pains. Literally, they got hurt in the process because of different types of communication styles between the gorillas or the chimpanzees and them. And that's what's so scary, and a lot of people don't realize, is it's not only that you're out of your element. I'm out of my element right here. This is not the type of way I would naturally want to set up. But this is the only way to build those. This is the only way to build that rapport. You see? So I have to be able to get close to them and build trust. And trust isn't just they trust me. I have to trust them. It's a two-way street. There's no them trusting me, and that's the only way this is going to work. It's I trust them, they trust me, and we build that together, and we build up rapport. And that's not going to be easy. I already know it's not going to be easy for me. I've just been trying to stay out here in these areas where on the 14th of April I had the first interactions in this area. And before that they were already moving through because they were creating those breaks. So this is just beginning. And quite frankly, it's intimidating, but I think this is the next step, because they wanted more interactions when we were at the Jeep. They were getting closer, they were getting bolder, but we showed fear, and they adapted, they pushed back, they were able to recognize that we were afraid of that kind of action, and they adapted it to only throwing pebbles at the Jeep and not getting closer when we were outside. Only when we were inside the Jeep would they get closer, and they wouldn't throw pebbles at us anymore like they did in the beginning. So they want to engage more, but at this point it's on me. Like, I have to do the next step, and the next step is to let them get closer, engage them, interact with them. I think I have a basic understanding of some of their language as far as their interactions, body language, and that's hopefully going to help me in this pursuit. But it doesn't come without its risk. Anyone that's doing this needs to know that there's risk involved with an unknown, highly intelligent primate hominid, that may be just as intelligent as a human in their own right and domain. So with that comes a lot of miscommunication that can lead to bad ends. And that again, right? The whole point of this is to tell you how intimidating it is. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pursuing, because this is, I think, the only way forward. I think a lot of people have gone to what I got to 2 years ago with the interactions in one spot, not venturing further. And I think that's a success, but it stopped there because both groups, them and us, are scared to go to the next step. And so it's up to me in this case, if I want to get more interactions and go to that next step, to do it. Because the only way I'm going to be able to document them consistently enough for proof is to earn their trust and eventually bring the camera equipment. But the only way to do that is first they have to trust me, and then slowly the equipment, just like any other primate in any other like hunter-gatherer group that hasn't been contacted before. The same principles apply because we're all primates. And so we're all going to have these underlying tendencies, baselines, and behaviors that if we understand, it can at least give us, a head start in making the right decisions and communications. Okay, some things to be aware of this year going into this. There's been some things that have changed, which I don't know how it will change the result of the experiment. Okay, so I can't bring my Jeep to this area the way I did before. I won't have that capability this year, so I have to walk in. There's no way to tell if the Jeep was one of the important baselines that made them comfortable to get closer and even stay in this area. Maybe regularly they don't stay in this area, but because we were there and interacting with them, they stayed here, and they stayed here for so long. So there's a lot of unknowns in this, and unfortunately I wish I could have the Jeep here to establish that baseline and then go one step further, but I don't have that option. So I don't know how they're going to be feeling if I'm roving or just chilling out of the Jeep. I have no idea their reaction. I don't even know if they'll even stay in this area if they don't see the Jeep or there. Like if I'm not visible enough and present myself in a way that they can see me at the right time. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that are different that I can't replicate this time that would be very beneficial if I had the ability to do so in order to repeat the same type of interactions, because those baselines aren't there anymore that were there before, that aided and helped in this endeavor. So I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know what they're going to do since I'm alone now. I'm roving or just hanging out like in areas that they go through, and the Jeep's not going to be here. And the Jeep, I think, was a very important piece of them feeling comfortable because it established kind of their boundary and my boundary. And that kind of gave them their comfort zone and my comfort zone. And so that's not there anymore. And I don't know if not having like a female present, like when Madison was here, is going to make a difference. I don't know if I'm going to be seen more as a threat, just because I'm just like a rogue male at this point, moving through, and I don't have like my little family unit that might make me less threatening and more recognizable as like an authority figure in my own domain kind of thing. So there's a lot of unknowns going into this, so I really don't know what to expect. And it's getting close to that time. They may be down here, so if they're coming down here the way they did 2 years ago, then I predict that the alpha is already coming down into these areas. Even now, right now, he could be around here, and he's finding a recon. He's building a path to this area, a safe route, and he's determining whether this is a good spot to set up again. And I think if I'm correct, we're going to see like a line of new stick breaks going through spots again, the way I did 2 years ago. But again, since I can't recreate the old baselines like I did before, I don't know what to expect. All I know is that it's definitely scary and uncomfortable to be here in the freaking like dark. Like it's super dark right now. And the last time I was here yesterday, like a rabbit or some small animal got like within a foot of me and behind me, and I was, I tried to be like brave, and I got close, probably closer than a foot before I finally looked back and scared it away. But just a small little animal was enough to make me a little bit apprehensive. I knew it was a small little animal because it was dark. You can't see anything. It was difficult. So right now I can barely see. You can see me because I have the infrared light on. So I have a really big infrared light that I can't find right now, but that I'm going to attach to the camera, and we're going to kind of like navigate out of here. I'm going to start doing this more, probably in a week from now, because that's around when it started occurring, these breaks and then later interactions, and just hope that they come down through here and that they're hopefully pleasantly surprised to see me, or at least neutral, and that we can build rapport from there. But again, like right now, I'm definitely on edge, but I'm trying not to be, because I have to be friendly, open, and like not a defensive posture for them to feel comfortable to get close to me. But you try laying like a 9 to 10 foot apex hominid that can see in the dark, that its eyes reflect red at the right angle and enough light, like just come up on, like just get nearby you and try to interact with you. I'm just stumbling on my words thinking about it. Anyway. Let's take a walk through and start heading back to the vehicle, so you can get like an idea of this place, the way it is now before the leaves come in, just to give you an appreciation. I hope this gives you a perspective of what it's like here at night. And the moon is actually out right now, but which is the only thing letting me see a little. What's interesting is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like pathways through here that are pretty big, and these pathways end when you get close to the trail, and there's like a barrier of dense brush in a lot of the places. So you can only imagine how intimidating this is going to be, because I already know that they're very, very real, and that they are in this area. And I also know they're really hard to see. I swear I saw a red. A red dot over here. So my biggest concern, among many others, is I don't want to run into one by mistake and have it freak out, smack me, and break things. In fact, I'm a little concerned that they want to play. Here you can see a break. That's an old break from 2 years ago. But let's be honest. This is the only way to breed success. No, I'm on one of the trails that goes through the area, and you can see how there's just tons and tons of brush. Something's in the brush there now. I heard it moving around. I'm just gonna tell myself it's a deer. Woo! Mateo, friend. Can't see anything. I just heard him in there. And it was right, it's really close to where we just were. Which is a little terrifying. Definitely feel like I'm being watched right now. It's Mateo, friend. Just gotta give it the benefit of the doubt. Keep moving. I'm sure if it is him, and I'm pretty sure it's like the alpha, if I'm correct, he is not happy that I have this big camera with the giant IR light on it. But hopefully, if it is him, he'll see that I'm here and that I'm being friendly, calm, and peaceful. Walking away. Smell something. So, this is my life. This is going to be my life for the next couple of months. And it's much different than what I've done before. As far as before with the Jeep and having that as a place of safety. It is certainly intimidating, to say the least. Yeah, something was pretty large was making noise as I passed by, and that whatever it was is really close. They probably heard me talking with the interview and decided to see it closer. But that's not comforting, you know, that is scary. Whoops. And even if they mean no harm, this is not the kind of world humans enjoy. Just remember, right, like I am walking with a little bit of moonlight, and it is dark. Heard something else over there. Woo! Well, that was intimidating to say the least. It's just tricky, you know, because it's a struggle always to find that balance and listen to that intuition. Like up there, when I was walking back and I was hearing those things, I felt like it was them watching me. You know, like I was being stalked. Like I had that gaze. I felt like the gaze upon me. But on the other hand, I'm intimidated. I'm of these new prospects, this new path that I'm on, and so I it could just be my mind getting afraid and finding patterns where there are none, and scaring myself. So it's hard to say, because the closer we get to the time that they were in the area, the this the scarier it gets, for me. So I'm I still have a lot to go through. I mean, I tell myself they're not there, but today would be a perfect day for the group or the alpha to come through and start surveying the area and seeing if it's secure to bring the rest of the party in to start hunting and gathering. But time will tell. And honestly, I think the biggest struggle in this whole thing isn't going to be the contact and the interactions with them. It's going to be me having the courage to be able to put myself in the situations to allow it to occur. And I don't think anyone should blame me for doing this, because it's the unknown scary, and it's but the only way to reveal and understand the unknown is to face it. So that's what I'm doing. I am excited to look through this footage and see if anything was captured. I did see like a red light. It looked like a red light, I don't know what it was through the trees. But I think the camera should have been pointing that direction in order to get it. So we'll see if we picked anything up that was stalking me in those woods, because it was creeping up on me, because it was big, and it was really nearby the spot that I was talking to inside the brush. Because then when I came out, I hit the trail, I walked over, around, and kind of outflanked it to where it was kind of going near where I was. So it makes me wonder, because the deer is less likely to do that. But again, the deer here aren't afraid of people, and sometimes they'll just come right up to you because they want to eat, because people feed them. So it's totally possible it's that. Anyway, I hope that's helped give you an idea of what I'm doing and where I'm going, my plans, my fears, my uncertainties, and just gonna take this one day at a time, because if I'm right and they come back through here, if they're already back here, this is just gonna escalate as soon as the leaves come in and they have more cover concealment. Woo! Shuddering now. I'm pretty confident they don't mean me harm, but that still does not change the fact that this is the final frontier as far as I'm concerned. Alright, till next time. I think I'm going to start doing these daily, because I'm going to be coming here daily and seeing what I find, seeing what happens, and trying to be brave and courageous and just allow these interactions to occur to get to that next step.